Okay, everybody, welcome to day 75 on the trail. Just left the hotel. It's 7:30. Bit on the cool side. I'm a little underdressed, but I'm hoping that I think I'm gonna have to put a jacket on. I just walked into the shade. Anyway, got about 11 miles planned today because there's some hills. So we'll see where that gets to. There's a shelter there, and what I'll do is make a judgment call there. Supposed to have 2 nice days, then more rain coming in, which seems to be the theme. So we'll talk to you further up the trail. All right. Last couple days, I've been smelling great fragrance in the woods. That's because the multiflora rose bushes are starting to bloom. They smell wonderful, but remember, they're an invasive species. So, but they do smell good. All right. Today I got an 11-mile day mapped. If I feel good, I could push further on. We got 2 nice days, then rain coming in again. So, just left the road, quarter mile. So we got a big, long slog climb, then a bunch of little, sharp little climbs, according to the profile. So, and of course, with 4 or 5 days worth of food, my pack's at its heaviest. So we'll see what we can do. That's why, since there was a lot of climbing, I only picked 11 miles, and of course play by ear after that. Ran across this area here. The big stand. These are all black walnuts. Yeah. Black walnuts have what we refer to as compound leaves. I think today's going to be the day we're going to get a lesson in botanical terms, especially as it pertains to leaves. Because if we're going to start doing tree ID, we're going to have to know some terms. We got a black cherry here. You can't see it now, but maybe on this one you can. Right along, come on, right along the base of this main vein on the bottom, it gets fuzzy, and come summer and fall it turns an orange color. The other way to tell cherries is if you scratch the bark. I don't want to damage this tree because this might be like an arboretum. You get that that sickly almond smell from the cyanide that's in the plant. That's why you don't eat cherry pits. It releases cyanide in your stomach. They got a lot of little lawn flags marking all the up and growing trees. So that's why I'm wondering what's going on here. I don't know. All right, let me get moving. I think I'm the first one out on the trail today because I'm hitting all the spider webs that are across the trail. So, very good. We will bring you back for all the good stuff, and I guess we're going to go over tree terminology. Okay, we talked about opposite and alternate leaves. This is a case of opposite. Sorry. This is a case of opposite leaves. All right. maples, ashes, dogwoods, right? All right, this happens to be box elder, which is in the maple family. Now, the question is, what's a leaf? A leaf on a deciduous tree, or a tree that loses its leaves, are the parts that fall off. In this case, this is the leaf. The leaf, in this case, has leaves, which we call leaflets. When a leaf has leaflets, we call it a compound leaf, as opposed to being just a simple leaf. So, in this case, box elder is a maple, or in the maple family, and it has compound leaves because it has leaves. If you consider the part that falls off the leaf, that has leaflets. All right, I know it's a botanical term, and you know, scientists, but so again, coming off the branch is the leaf, and coming off the leaf is the leaflet. It's called a compound leaf. Just the way it is. All right, box elder. All right, so we saw it's opposite branching. It's got leaflets, and the leaves often have a little toothed appearance near the end. See it? Maybe the next thing we'll talk about is teeth, lobes, and serrations. But box elder, you can see the little teeth at the end. If it wasn't a tree, you could confuse it for poison ivy maybe, but it's not. Hi everyone. That's a beautiful black cherry. 3 foot easy in diameter. Too bad the trunk splits there. With a grapevine. And you remember the hairy vines? Poison ivy, hairy vines. So, just passed under the interstate, which you can probably hear in the background. So, moving on. All right. For tree ID in the past, we've done branching, opposite and alternate branching, mad, cap, horse, maples, ash, dogwood, caprifoliaceae, and horse chestnut all have opposite branching. Once you get to the leaf stage, we're going to need to know some terms. All right. So you'll know what I'm talking about, because I may say them without clearly saying what I'm talking about, just out of habit. This morning we saw box elder. All right, box elder has what we call a compound leaf. All right, this is a hickory. Hickories have compound leaves too, which means this is the part attached to the twig and the part that falls off every fall. So this is the leaf stem, and these are the leaflets. Ow, I'm getting bit by flies. So in this case, this petiole is actually the first part of the leaf. These are leaflets, all right? Similar to the box elder. It had a stem, that was the leaf, and then leaflets. There's honey locust, which has a stem. That stem has stems, and then there's leaf. So they're triply compound. The other thing we need to talk about is the shape of the leaf and the edges of the leaf. All right. Now, leaves can have a very smooth edge. Okay. When it's smooth and there's no, let's just say the smooth edge, of course. All right. They can also have what we call teeth. In this case, they're rounded teeth. They can have very, very fine teeth. When they're fine, let me see if I can get this. Hang on. When they're very fine, like you see here, we call that edge serrated, like a serrated knife. Okay. All right. Now this one, in particular, this is elm. It's got not only teeth, but it's also got little. This is not a great example of it, but I was looking for a birch leaf, but haven't seen many birches today. Okay, so this is called doubly serrated, in that it's got teeth and serrations. The other thing we need to talk about are lobes. All right, here on the sassafras leaf, we have 3 lobes. This area here is called the sinuses, all right, for the cavities. All right, maple leaf, typical maple, like the Canadian flag maple. It has 5 lobes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another leaf that looks like it. Norway maple actually has 7. All right. Here's a red maple leaf. Not only does it have lobes, but it has serrations. Okay. So those are the main things we're going to talk about. Simple leaf or compound leaf, lobes, serrations, and teeth. All right. We tend to refer to teeth more if they're a little sharper, but sometimes some teeth or some lobes will have bristles, things like that. So very important. Those are the basic terms. Shape of the leaf, I'm not going to worry too much about. There's so many terms for the shape of a leaf that it's not necessary, because I'm going to most likely going to be showing you the leaf at the time that I'm talking about it. So if I say the term, and I'll put it in simple terms, like red bud leaves are heart shaped. You know, the typical term is cordate, but I'll say heart shaped, things like that. And there's so many terms I just don't even remember. So, all right, simple versus compound, lobed, toothed, serrated, doubly serrated. Okay. The only other term that you might hear me say is, like on this leaf, it's called palmate, which means it has a broad flat area and then the lobes come off like fingers. All right, this is kind of palmate. Don't forget the sassafras has the mitten one, and the entire leaf means the smooth edge leaf. Palmate, kind of like a hand. That's a big palm area, and then fingers or lobes sticking out like fingers. All right, Dendro 101 today. After that, we can start talking more about trees. All right, the evergreens don't have leaves. They have needles, scales, things like that. All right, so couldn't find the exact leaves I was hoping for. There's like no birches up here. So I went with the cherry and the elm. That's an elm leaf. You can, it's still early and it's not hard, but it's like sandpaper. So we got black cherry. This is musclewood, chestnut oak, elm, sugar maple, red maple, sassafras, and mockernut hickory. All right, pack off break at full hard and a little dendro lesson on leaves. So we can start talking species soon. Very good. Looks like a little dated shelter. Picnic table needs a bit of a torquing. Okay. First I want to show you the bark of this. This is... lost my balance, sorry. I want to show you the bark of this. This is a birch. See these little lines on it? Those are called lenticels. They're believed to be involved in gas exchange. All birches have lenticels. The older birches don't show like the yellows when they're real monsters, but you see them on the roots and stuff. All right. Yellow birch. There you go. See how it's serrated? The edges of the leaves are serrated. In this case, it's sweet birch. I can tell because I scratched the bark, right? Come into focus. I scratched the bark there, and when you smell it, you can smell wintergreen. Remember, the only two birches that have that smell are yellow birch and sweet birch. And of course, the branching is alternate. One here, one there, one there. Not counting the leaves, I'm talking about where they come off on the branch. One here, one there. Alternate branching, the smell of wintergreen, lenticels on the bark. Not all birches have peely bark. Here's an older version. You can still see the lenticels in this older birch. Okay, and doesn't have that papery, peely bark, but it does have bark that comes off a little bit. The only other thing that has the lenticels like that are cherries. And cherries, not black cherry, but domestic cherries, they're very long and almost wrap around half the tree. So let me get going. Got a downhill, so it looks like it's going to be a little rocky. Okay. Been seeing this for a while now. This is a very common understory shrub slash small tree, multi-stem tree. It's called witch-hazel. I'm not sure most of you heard of, at least the older folks have. Witch-hazel is got these, what would you call them? Irregularly shaped leaves. Sorry, I'm having my troubles today with the ruffled edges. All right, very common, often overhanging the trails. Unique feature about witch hazel, it doesn't flower in the spring. It flowers in the fall, and you'll see these yellow spidery flowers hanging from it. So that's witch hazel. All right, everybody, you should know what this is. American chestnut. All right. At the end of each vein is a long tooth. It kind of curls toward the tip, usually. The only things that are similar to this are Asian chestnuts, which, you know, sometimes it's a blend, but Asian chestnuts have shorter teeth. and I believe they have a wavy edge to them. And the other thing is beech, but beech doesn't have the tooth. It has more of this bristle at the end of the vein than the tooth itself. And of course, this has the dark bark, whereas the beech has a steely gray colored bark. So, American chestnut. Now, the other thing to know is, see the buds? See how small the buds are here on the chestnut? These are buds that have not leafed out or already have, but chestnut has a very small bud like that, whereas the beech has a 3/4 inch, very narrow, pointy bud. I see a beech. There's a bunch of chestnuts around here. Ah, there's one right there. It's got to be 15 feet tall. This one right here. There's one right there, and another one right there. So a little pocket of chestnuts here. If I see some beech, I want to show it to you. I saw some earlier on the hike, but I haven't seen any lately. So when I see some, I'll show you what the difference is between the chestnuts and the beeches. I don't want to pluck a chestnut leaf. It's too, I don't know. I don't want to damage the plant, that's all. Okay, ran across these chestnuts. All right, there's an old chestnut that's been hit by the blight, and there you see the root sprouts and the stump sprouts growing up again. Same thing here. Chestnut hit by blight, some sprouts from below the blight hit. Now, look at here. There's another one. Chestnut. Looks pretty good, huh? Maybe 15 feet high. But look here. Let me see if I can zoom in. See that split? Alright, the blight's causing that. So this one's doomed too. But some beautiful leaves to it. Very distinctive leaf. There's a whole bunch of them here. Yes. Oh. There's one there, but look, you can just see, let me see if I can zoom a little more. Follow that branch, right? Where am I? Okay, follow that branch. See right there? You can see where the blight is ruining the bark on it. So that one's doomed too. What a shame. Oh well, let's hope that the one with the engineered gene to break down the acid works. Alright. Hey, look at this chestnut. Let me see this better. You can see how the little tooth, yeah, you can't make it out. Okay, see how the little tooth, oh, lost it. See how the tooth has that little curl on it? Very distinctive from American beech. Okay, I know I've been neglectful on my last few IDs, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's a tree, I want to know what it is. Alright, I look at the branching. Alright. Oh, there's only one there, but there is a branch scar on the other side. So I'll go up a little bit. There's another branch scar. There's another branch scar on opposite sides. Branching on opposite sides. Branching on opposite sides. So now I know I'm a maple, ash, dogwood, or viburnum. It's not horse chestnut, I know. All right. It's palmate, right? Got a big flat palm area and lobes. All right. Look at the tree trunk. Okay. I wish this phone. Wish I had better care. Stripes. See the white markings? Okay. That makes this striped maple. A very common understory tree. They get to 20 feet, 25 feet, 30 feet, maybe. You know, six inches. That's about it. 6 inches in diameter. But that's a striped maple. Okay. Easily identified by the striped bark, the maple-like leaves, and the opposite branching. Hi everybody. I blew past my intended shelter, decided to do another 7.5. I forgot to let you know. I got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go. Been paralleling the Blue Ridge Parkway. Primarily going to be downhill. I think I got one bit of an uphill just before the next shelter, which is bag of something, baglery shelter or something. I don't know. I just knew I was moving on to the next one. I met a dad and his daughter who I haven't seen. Sorry, a niche. Since Gatlinburg. The funny part is, I was thinking this morning, I was wondering if they were still on trail. And sure enough, right around 12:30, they come up behind me just before the Wilson Creek shelter. Or not the Wilson Creek shelter. Yeah, the Wilson Creek shelter. The one I was gonna stop at. Small world here on the trail. You see somebody, you hike with them for a while, you separate, you don't know what happened to them, then boom, next thing you know, you're meeting again. Incredible. So it's a dad with his 10-year-old daughter. They do big miles, 15s, 18s, 20s. No flinching whatsoever. I don't know how they do it, but they do. All right. You can hear a car. There's a parkway right up there. See the car? So, onward to the next shelter. A couple miles. It's 5 o'clock, which means I won't be there till like 6 o'clock. So it's going to be a late arrival. Later than I usually do. I'll bring you back at the shelter if I can.